All right, so we're going to start the class today, and what we're going to be speaking about is what we can do to, to improve when we are the first due engine company that's arriving on a fire. As Andy Frederick said, so goes the first line, so goes the fire. Nobody needs to jump out of windows if we put the fire out. With that being said, we're going to talk about some things that will benefit you and some things for you to consider when you're the first due arriving company officer or firefighter that'll make you more effective on the fire ground. One of the biggest things that we can talk about right off the bat would be situational awareness. Situational awareness starts immediately upon receipt of the alarm. Situational awareness means to us, what that means is that you are aware of the situation, the hazards, and what's going on around you in your environment. And that can be anything from the language that's being used on the radio to the descriptions of the fire. Are the police calling and saying that there's multiple victims trapped? Are the guys that are on scene prior to your arrival, whether it be police, fire, a chief officer, how's their language? How's their body language? What are they saying? What is their voice like? That's all important to know. The second thing we're talking about is muscle memory. The Marine Corps does a very good job of teaching their soldiers, Marines, how using muscle memory makes them more effective. Because if you have muscle memory and automatic reflex to do certain things, you're not going to have to think about doing that action. You'll be able to focus on the hazard in front of you. So with that being said, one of the things that we talk about is making sure that your gear is set up in the same way. As long as I've been a captain, and prior to that when I was a fireman, my gear is set up in the truck the same way. That way I can listen to the radio, I can pay attention to where we're going, I can do all these other things, and I still know where my hood is, where my helmet is, where my jacket is. Everything's in the same spot every time. It's just a small routine that you set up that reaps large benefits moving forward. So once we're arrival, we're going to take a look at this building and see what we've got. We're going to give a nice, calm, collected size up, paint the picture, explain to all these incoming units what we're doing and how we're doing it. Once we've done that, now we need to decide what we're going to do. Normally, as a first due arriving company, you're going to do one of two things. Either you're going to go and effect a rescue, or you're going to go stretch a line and go in and put the fire out. With that being said, now we're going to step off the truck, give our assignment to our fireman, or if you're the fireman, take your assignment from the captain, and then we're going to move out. One of the things that I preach and that I was taught by others is that you effectively stop for just a second. Take 10 seconds, take a look at what's going on. Take a real good look at the conditions, the smoke, what the smoke's doing, what the fire's doing, where it is. Then you step off. It's kind of like a reset. It helps you reset your mind, not get too far ahead. Once that's done, we're going to stretch. We're going to do our 360. We're going to take a look at all these different things and come up with an effective plan to operate on the fire ground. Once we've done that, we're going to communicate all that. Again, we're painting a picture for everybody else. And then we're going to go in and put the fire out, which the ultimate goal is we're going to save lives and property. When those things are taken care of and the situation is mitigated, then we can step back and take a look and critique what we've done. So just to reiterate what we're talking about situational awareness. We're talking about effective operations on the fire ground as a first due engine company operations, and how we can better operate while we're out there on the fire ground. Some of this stuff you guys can use, some of it you can't use, but at the end of the day, they're all tools for your toolbox.